Hello everyone, it's my Milk. I just got back from the theater after watching Inside Out 2, and I just want to talk about it because I think it is a very good movie, if I'm being honest with you. Now, obviously, this could be because of like relatability. The movie does get pretty relatable a lot very quickly. Um, I would say like the whole way through, there were definitely a lot of things that were more grounded and more relatable, you know. But yeah, of course, there's definitely some parts that I feel like could have been a bit better. There was a confrontation between some of the emotions at some point during like a little bit of a crisis, and I feel like that part wasn't handled all too well. But like everything else, I think was really, really well done. Um, the dialogue between the characters, Riley expressing her emotions and all that, it was all very incredible and very real. Um, what I liked the most about this movie was their depiction and usage of like the character and the emotion, anxiety. I think the symbolism within the character is incredible. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some point in the movie where it is like the climax basically, and there's some crazy shit going on, and the way they used like their choice of how they want to represent anxiety, like going out of control, um, is very unique. It is very unique, and I think is pretty relatable to a lot of people. Obviously, I did go see the movie with my family, and there were a bunch of kids that were really young. So, if I'm being honest with you, I don't really think they'd understand it. Also, a side note, this isn't related. When I was watching it, some kid in the middle of it yelled something skibbity. I lost my shit. I put my palm on my forehead. I was like, "What the fuck? This brain rot's crazy." Anyway, got distracted. Very good. I think everything was just really well done. It looked good. And again, the depiction of characters were great. I really appreciated how, a bit spoilers, but they do bring us up in the trailer, so it's not too much. But I do like how they talk about how Riley's old emotions are sort of being bottled away or being hidden, basically, from being able to take control in the headquarters. And I think, for me at least, growing up, it also felt like that in a way, where feelings were just a lot harder to control than before. I feel like you would think it's like, oh, when you grow up, it'd be easier for you to understand your emotions and all that. But I would say going through like teenage years and puberty is a lot harder than growing up as a kid, because even though as a kid understanding emotions might be hard, I feel like because there's so much more at stake when you become a teen, like in this movie with Riley's circumstances in her life, it's a lot harder for you to be able to manage all of that because there's a lot more at stake, right? There's a lot more you need to think about and that you think about. That didn't make any sense, but what I'm trying to say is, like, for Riley at least, there's a lot of things that she doesn't need to think too much about, like, and that's where it comes in with like overthinking and stuff, which is again very relatable. No, I think we all do it at some point. We let our thoughts get the best of us, and then everything turns, like, it goes insane because you've lost your mind. Basically, you let all these thoughts run wild, and then you lose your shit, basically, right? And I think that's really good. I think that's really nice. I definitely think, I mean, even the first Inside Out is just a really, really good movie. I definitely think that Inside Out 1 and 2 is a very good watch for anyone, really. And I've talked about this before on like streams or something, but back in high school, I had an assignment where we were supposed to come up with our own like TED Talks, basically. And I was trying to talk about how positivity is a great thing, but it's important to keep a balance. I referenced Inside Out in that movie, or in my TED Talk, because I just think it's a really good way of representing things, right? Obviously, emotions, for the most part, in a way, I believe you can say they're kind of abstract, right? It's not something you see, right? You can like, I mean, you can definitely see it, but within yourself, you don't really see it. If that makes any sense. But Inside Out gives them like personification. It gives them like life and character. Basically, it makes them a character. And as I said earlier, I think it's really done well. Each emotion really embodies the emotion that they're playing. And I just think it's really good. Of course, with some of the emotions, I did wish they had a bit more to do, like a bit more involvement, but that's fine. I think, obviously, I'm sure all of you can tell this one's about like Riley growing up, and you know, the biggest player is definitely anxiety. I don't know if it was really obvious, but for me, at least I felt like it was going to be anxiety regardless. So I definitely think having anxiety be like the forefront important character is very well executed. I know I've kind of been repeating like the same points over and over again, but I just really think that's what stood out to me the most. Another one that stood out to me a lot, like this is like a specific quote. Minor spoilers, I guess. I mean, they could be major, but it depends on you. If you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. But Joy says, and I quote, "I don't know how to stop anxiety. Maybe that's what happens when you grow up. You feel less joy." And like when I heard that, I stopped and I was like, wait, why is this so real? This is a Disney kids movie. And I'm not saying like Disney can't be deep, but it's just, from the Disney I've seen, it's not like that deep. Like it's not anything crazy. So again, as I said in the beginning, this movie might just seem really, really, really good to me because of relatability, right? But I do think, well, like trying to get rid of my biases, I do think that this movie is a really good watch for anyone really, because it's important to understand emotions. And while it's like easier said than done, at least you have some sort of understanding of what it might be like, right? Because everyone works differently. The level of anxiety that they feel, like everyone feels things differently. But at the end of the day, there's things that we have in common between each of us, and I think that's what makes it so good. Now, aside from like the more serious stuff, comedy, it's decent. It's all right. I wouldn't say it was anything that was getting me crack up, or I wasn't having a nice belly laugh in the theater, but it is entertaining. Like I did laugh at some of the comedy in there, which I don't actually do that often, especially watching like a kids movie, like a movie that's generally geared towards children or like a younger demographic. I don't usually really laugh anymore. Like I don't think I did a review on this actually, but I watched Garfield a while ago, and of course, a bunch of kids, they were laughing. I didn't really find that much of it amusing. Like, yeah, it is a joke. The best I could say is that certainly was a joke. But with this movie, some of the comedic moments I actually found entertaining. I giggled. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, like you're not really watching this to see like incredible comedy. Like I feel like if you're watching this, you're definitely in for a deeper ride. And you get it. You absolutely do get it. Yeah, there were definitely things I feel like they might have wanted to touch on, but didn't. And that's fine. I don't think everything needs to be explored. And to be honest with you, with the amount of time, like how long the movie is and how much they could potentially ever tell, like I think they did a really good job already. Because like with emotions and stuff, there's no real end to it. I feel like if we're talking about like feelings and stuff, it's really hard to have a point where you just stop and say, okay, we finished discussing vulnerability, right? Anxiety, like fear and all that. Like it is definitely difficult. And I think within the duration of the movie, the length of the movie, it was done well. It was done great. And yeah, I don't know if they're planning to make another one where she's like an adult or something, that'd be crazy. Um, heck, I'd still watch it. I think this, I would definitely say like Inside Out is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just like franchises of all time. Is it a franchise? It's just like two movies. I don't know, but like I just think it's really good. I know I've been ranting for very long. This is probably the longest movie thing I've ever done, and most of it was just repeating shit. But that's all I really wanted to say, and not really related. But as someone who is actively doing like the RP stuff, and sometimes I do comfort audios. They're not as popular, but that's not the point. It is what it is. But I definitely do feel like, of course, having people be there for you and comforting and all that it helps a lot. And I think it definitely shows in this movie as well, because there are parts where comfort is definitely needed. And when she gets it, it becomes better, and it fixes her. There's also a few jokes in there that I know I just talked about this, but there's one, minor spoilers, but I think it was anxiety. They were talking about how whack she is, and Fear was like, I don't like condone her actions or something, but I can fix her. That was funny. I don't know if they meant that like the way that a lot of people my generation do, but like the I can fix her shit, that was funny. I like that one. Another thing, this other character guy, he's a video game character, entertaining, very random but entertaining. It talks about, minor spoilers, Riley's crush on like a video game character. I found that humorous. I saw that, I was like, damn, I guess that happens to the most of us, which I know is true, because I definitely know some people watching this right now, you probably use character AI like actively, or at least you have at some point. If you haven't, good for you. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Sorry for interrupting the deep shit with some goofiness. And yeah, it's been 12 minutes, and yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you for watching. I know this isn't like a super deep, crazy review. It's just me rambling. I love rambling, and if you're interested in listening to me ramble more, be sure to check out my streams. I haven't streamed for like 2 weeks already, but it's fine. Yeah, that's all I want to say. Bye bye.